56 years ago. You know who got assassinated? On the 5th of June. On this day in history, June 5th, 1968, presidential hopeful Robert F. Kennedy is fatally shot in Los Angeles. His son, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., announced candidacy last year for the 2024 presidency. There's a clip here where DHS Secretary Mayorkas turned down a request from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for Secret Service protection. Don't you find that sort of strange? New York Senator Robert F. Kennedy was on a presidential campaign trail as a Democratic candidate when he was fatally shot on this day in history, June 5th, 1968, by an assassin at the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles, California. The New York legislator, better known as Bobby, was 42 at the time of his death. Moments before he was shot, Kennedy delivered a victory speech in front of supporters in the hotel's embassy room ballroom. According to the Los Angeles Almanac, he had just won the California primary race. The final words of Kennedy's speech, given shortly after midnight on June 5th to a raucous crowd, were "My thanks to all of you," says the same source. He added, "And now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there." You see him at the microphone in this photograph. As Kennedy worked his way through the crowd, shaking hands and getting well-wishers and hotel staff on his way to another room for press conference, he was shot several times by Sirhan Sirhan. Absolute bullshit. A Palestinian immigrant from Jordan recounts the Los Angeles Almanac. Sirhan Sirhan was an MK Ultra graduate. He had an 8-shot revolver. And according to the audio soundtracks, 13 shots were fired. The shot that went into Kennedy's brain was shot from down low like this. The bullet entered the back of his head in an up direction. Sirhan Sirhan was never behind Kennedy. Sirhan Sirhan is and was an absolute patsy. He was there to assassinate him because he was an MK Ultra graduate, but he was not the shooter. They had backup shooters to make sure that they killed Kennedy. On April 13, 1969, Sirhan Sirhan was sentenced to the death penalty after being convicted in Kennedy's assassination. In 1972, Sirhan's sentence was commuted to life in prison after California abolished the death penalty, according to thehistory.com. How insane is that? They've got hundreds of people on death row that they're paying for the rest of their lives to feed, to treat medically, when they should be exterminated, they should be killed. The summer of 1968 was tense time in America. The Vietnam War had created a relentless populace at home, as well as outspoken anti-war movements. In the face of the unrest, President Lyndon B. Johnson decided not to seek second term in the upcoming presidential election. You know why he didn't seek a second term? Because he knew that the moon landing was bullshit, and he thought that it would be exposed, and he didn't want to be part of it. John Kennedy's younger brother and former U.S. Attorney General stepped into the breach and experienced a groundswell of support, History.com says. You can read the rest of the article, but you sort of get the picture. It's absolute bullshit. Total bullshit. He was assassinated by our government. You think not? Well, think whatever the hell you like. But how do you explain 13 shots being fired on the audio recordings when he had an 8-shot revolver? I don't know, just a minor detail. It's like the bullshit about 9/11. They're all minor details, aren't they? I can't do this alone, folks. Pass it along, and thanks for listening.